Hey, welcome aboard the Tabletop Express. My name is Chris.
I'm Ryan.
That's Ryan. And this is Call Aboard.
Call aboard. See what I did there?
Yeah. You say that many times. Do you know that?
Yeah. One day you will see what I'm doing there.
Yeah. Well, I do know what we're doing tonight. It's the end of the month, which means it's our What's on Your Table edition of Call Aboard. It is the episode of Call Aboard where we always invite you to call in, but the theme tonight is very specific every month, which is what did you play this month?
Free topic.
Yeah. Talk about the games you played this month. Talk about the games you played at events. If you didn't talk to us about Gen Con, you could still talk about the games you played at Gen Con.
Talk about what you just got.
Yeah.
Did you just get a game?
What came in?
Excited to play a game?
Yeah. We played a lot of games this month.
Tons.
Yeah.
Tons. So don't bother calling in.
No.
Don't bother. No. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
If you do, it's call-aboard.com. Remember that hyphen. Oh my gosh, I can't reach that far.
Not that tall.
One day, champ. Let's
but
my Ovaltine.
But here we are, Call Aboard. So welcome, whether it's first time or long time. We would love to see you.
It's been a long time for me.
Yeah, you've taken a little
I was on hiatus.
Yes. And Anthony's on hiatus as well because he's at the Dice Tower retreat.
That's pretty epic.
So he'll be coming back. He's told me we're gonna get a report.
What's on his table right now?
I don't know. So I just know he told me he's gonna record something to report back so we can post it on the channel.
Cool.
But
yeah, just a reminder, this is a call-in show. So if you want to call in, it's call-aboard.com. And we got the lovely board that on the lovely Board Game Geek.
Yeah.
We will just pull up games that we talk about all night.
Yeah. So you mentioned a game, we'll bring it up on the board.
And what do we end the show with?
We got reviews tonight. So I'll say a few things. One, we've got reviews coming up tonight, and then some reviews that I know we want to do in the next month.
Yes.
When Anthony is back. So tonight we're going to be talking about Murray the Asshole Frog. That is a game.
It's A2 Splat. Wait, is it A2 Splat Hole Frog?
Okay. Well, it's after the name of the game is what I said.
We're not on YouTube Kids, right?
No.
Right,
I set the videos that they're not kid friendly.
All right.
So
go ahead.
We're also going to be talking about a guest of Robin Hood.
Or is it a jest?
A jest.
Did I say a
guest?
Out. It's whatever.
Yeah. It's a jest.
Oldie English.
Yes, it's a jest. A jest of Robin Hood. We also tonight, and we've talked about this before on occasion. We've talked about board game arena games.
Sure.
But we decided that we want to talk about a board game or a game that's on Board Game Arena, presently not available within the United States, but we've been able to play it quite a bit and feel really good about reviewing that experience outside.
It's on beta.
It's on beta.
It's on beta. I'm going to just share the tab for it right now. Where is that? Here it is. It's Naishi.
Yes.
Which is a 2-player tableau card game.
And we've played this enough. Obviously, we can't talk about components, but we're going to talk to you about gameplay tonight. So,
oh yeah.
I mean, your components are your keyboard and your screen. So, with that, say hello in the comments. Say hello. Say hi. And I think we could talk. I think let's start if we could. Will we
jump right in?
Will we wait to get any calls in? I will say one of the reasons we had a chance to get so many games in it is we actually did a weekend away, and we were. You were there. I was there. I know one of our very active callers, Marcel, was also there. So that was really cool.
And you're watching right now.
Yeah, that was a really cool weekend that we ended up having with our families and a lot of games.
Yeah,
which included the family. So that meant the kids. That meant us just playing some late night games.
Give me a game. Give me a game.
So let's talk about. You know what? We're gonna do. I can actually tease.
Sure.
One that a review is going to come up on. We want to play with Anthony, but I want to talk about it a little bit and just tease it up. Incognito.
Oh, hang on.
So
I think it's Incognito.
Incognito.
No,
yes.
it's Incognito. You see, Ink. Where is it? Hang on. Share this tab instead.
Yeah.
It's Incognito.
Yes. So I think we'll come back to this game with a review. We want Anthony to play it, and I would like to play it again. I know you want to play it again, but I wanted to talk about this game because we had a really fun experience with this one. It is
designed by Leo Colavini and Alex Randolph. Came out in 1988.
Yeah,
1988. But this is a newer edition put out by Ares Games. It's not like a new edition. It's a there's a reprint. It's a reprint.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting game of deduction where you are trying to deduce some pretty important information.
Yeah.
But what's extremely interesting about this game is you start the game on a team with someone, only you don't know who that person is.
Yeah, so this is a game, by the way, that's best at 4, and it has rules for 3-player and 5-player. I don't think they're going to work that well, though.
Yeah.
You really want to play this with 4 people because there's 4 different rules, right? There's a team of, is it Lord Featherbottom, right? And what was the other one?
Oh my God, they've got such great names.
It's not Sergeant Holka. That's Stripes. But it's something Lord Fiddlebottom.
For some reason I almost said Fiddlesticks.
Anyways, Lord Fiddlebottom and his buddy, and versus Agent X and Madame Zaza.
Yes. And
wait, actually, I think I have the names of who everyone was.
Oh,
no,
yeah. Cool.
I don't. No, that been so good.
So one of the interesting things in this, though, is you're going to end up moving one of your pieces around the board.
Because everyone has 4 pieces.
Yes.
Of their player color.
Of different sizes.
Of different sizes. And one of them is unique because one of them is your actual player. The other are your agents.
Yeah, and you know who your actual player is.
Right.
At the start of the game, but that's it.
That's it.
And the game's going to have different end scenarios based on
this matrix.
Yeah, this really pretty simple to read matrix, but you do have to make sure you have got the rules set down to make sure you don't screw that up. But the matrix is.
Did we screw it up?
No, I screwed it up because
matrix is kind of hard. Hey, Danielle.
No, I lost the game because I hit the wrong person.
Oh yeah.
So in our game in particular, Marcel and myself were able to deduce who each other was.
You were Lord Featherbottom,
yes,
right? Or the other one?
I think it was Featherbottom.
Featherbottom.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, here are the names. Are these the names? These are the names. Look. Oh, Colonel Bubble.
Colonel Bubble.
Colonel Bubble, not Sergeant Holka.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But it was a really interesting experience because you're going to try and then when you go to that spot and where you land on that spot with someone, you get to ask them essentially a question.
Well, yeah. So
you're investigating them, really, is what you're doing, and you're trying to do some information. They're going to have to hand you cards.
3 cards.
3 cards. Now, if you ask them that same question again, they have to differentiate from what they did of the previous time.
You're gonna ask specifically about their identity or their make. So are they tall? Like ask them about their size, or they ask them about their identity, and then they're gonna hand you the cards. Of those 3, one of them has to be true.
Yes. And at a certain point, what's going to happen is if you would like to tell that person because and I'll get to one reason where you're going to kind of know that you're with the right person. They're going to know that you're the right person, then they're going to be able to actually give you the card that shows their mission or shows exactly information about them. So you start to figure out, okay, great, I know who you are, and now I have an idea of what our mission, and so you can start to deduce that. There's every character has a little thing that they're supposed to do, a little quirk, like
so literally
tugging on your left ear.
Tugging on the left ear is a Lord Fiddlebottom, I think.
Yep.
And winking your eyes is winking your right eye is Colonel Bubble.
Yes.
Agent X has to frown, and then Madame Zaza has to stick her nose up in the air. Yeah. The thing is, you're trying to give these signals out to your partner. You don't know who your partner is, but also be aware that other people are seeing you. So you could just lie. You could do a completely different one. I did all 4 throughout the entire night.
You
until
did.
I was really trying to get at my partner, who was not paying attention, that I was constantly frowning at him.
Or
maybe he was just disappointed. Maybe he thought I was like mad at him or something.
All I could say was a really interesting experience. I really enjoyed it, and I want to play it again. So that's in the plan, but we would love to talk more about this. Oh, and we got to talk about the way that you determine the different moves.
Yeah, so the movement is by this creepy looking nun. So this nun is full. It has all these marbles inside of her.
It's so cool.
You take the nun. What's it called? Like the prophecy of progress or whatever. I don't remember.
You shake. Oh, I just called it a nun.
You shake the nun, and then you'll get 3 marbles showing specific kinds of movement that you can do with your agents. Or you can move, like if it's black, you can move the ambassador, which is that cousin It looking character over here. You know? It's great. I really enjoyed it. I want to play it again at 4 players. I think Anthony needs to play it.
Yes.
Because
so we're hoping to review it in the future with a more official review. But I wanted to bring this one up. Really enjoyed it. Do see Danielle, so I want to say hi to Danielle as well in the chat.
Did. Click her on her thing.
Yeah, bring her up. There you go.
Is.
There's Danielle. With that said, that's one of the games we played that I really just wanted to talk about and tease that ideally a future review, and we'll get a game with Anthony to table. But I am with you on one thing for sure. 4 players, play it with 4. It is definitely a 4 or don't play it.
Now,
to me,
speaking of 4 players, we played a 4-player game of a game I never played before, and that was Firefly the game.
Yes.
This was a very long game at 4 players. I would not recommend it at 4 players. I'm telling you right out the bat.
Well, and the funny thing is, I wouldn't recommend it at 4 players.
Yeah.
And we played it at 4.
And it says best with 3. I don't even think I recommend it at 3. I think, honestly, this would be a great solo game or a 2-player game. But in this game, it's very much here's a giant setup. And this is like the giant setup we played, because the person we played it with was so excited because they had the big old box.
Yeah.
You know? And they just fire.
That is also a lot cleaner than it will ever look.
Yeah.
Because it will not stay that clean.
It's just a very long pick up and deliver game. Firefly the game.
The problem I will note for your experience is that I think the scenario we picked was probably the worst.
Tell me how I played it wrong.
You didn't play it wrong. We normally we went to, in our game, we were very much like around one area for the most part, and that's not most of the times. I've never played a game where that's happened as much. Normally I'm all over space. Like I'm flying around. I'm doing a lot of different plays on one side of the galaxy, another side of the galaxy. Mm-hmm. And this, I was kind of huddled in a corner because one of the things we did was use the scenario where piracy was in it, which I've never used. And so which
is player versus player.
Yes. And personally,
and you're stealing win conditions from other players.
Yeah. And ultimately, I don't know. I didn't love that. I like Firefly the game. I own it. I do like it. But it's interesting you mentioned solo because it's got a ton of solo scenarios now.
While I was playing it, the whole time I was comparing it to another game.
Zaya?
I love. Yeah, I love Zaya. Zaya does the space it does the space pick up and deliver so well because you're also exploring the board. It changes up and it's a roll and move. Yeah. But this is a roll and move too. But you guys decided to skip the roll and move and just move at maximum speed, right?
No. So what we did, there was normally what happens in the game is what we did. Mm-hmm. But the scenario that we picked, and I think this screwed it up if you want me to be perfectly honest, because I think they put in this extra thing where you skipped over drawing the cards that made things happen. Because normally when you move from space to space, you're drawing a card and something can happen. Events are occurring as you're traveling through space. Might be, and that's fairly normal. But the scenario we did was saying, oh, we're going to roll, and then that mitigates some of the pull of the cards. So we would have been moving a lot more, and I think it would sped it up. So I think we kind of, personally, I think, wasn't thinking about it at the time, but probably wasn't the right call. Long story short, I think I actually was interested in trying it solo after you mentioned some of the solo stuff. I'm glad I own it. I'm a Firefly fan. I do think this game, if you're a Firefly fan, is more fun. I think this is
Yes.
I think as a Firefly fan, this is a must own, must play.
Mm.
I think if you're not a Firefly fan, I think it's easy to pass on for that reason, because it's not necessarily doing anything exceptional. But if you're a Firefly fan, like, you're in the verse.
You know what I
Quite
didn't
literally.
like? I didn't like how the map is set up, and maybe I just didn't get it at that point. But if you're going exploring all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And you end up going, let's say, on the left-hand side of the board,
Yeah.
now you're just kind of boned
Yeah,
for
because you
going to
can't.
the right-hand side.
Right.
There's no like quick access.
Well, that's why I like Outer Rim, because Outer Rim,
Mm.
if it's the expansion, I can go all the way to one side, jump across Imperial space, and get to the other side.
You know, there was this game that also does that really well. I forget which one it was called. Oh, it was called Zaya. Zaya.
There you go.
Zaya did it well. Anyways, if you like a Firefly, the TV show,
Oh yeah,
want to try it out, check out Firefly.
I agree with you, though.
But I'm gonna tell you, you may be disappointed, even if you do like the TV show.
I don't know. I think you have to pick the right scenario. I will say that.
All right.
I do think that.
All right.
And I challenge us, maybe sometime you and I bust out one of the solo ones.
I will
too.
play it again, but
Yeah.
I'm not eager to.
I will pick a better scenario next time. I'll hand pick it.
Okay.
We won't randomly draw it. We'll hand pick.
All right.
So
Firefly,
yes.
the game.
I'm gonna bring up my.
Sorry, Firefly, the game, designed by Aaron Dill,
And
John
what year?
Kowaleski,
2013.
Sean
That's what it was.
Swigart. Came out in 2013. The edition we played was, what was it called? Like the big fracking box. What was it called?
I technically don't know what it's the
Big shiny
big
box?
ass. Yeah, it's the
Big-
big ass Kickstarter. That's about all I know,
Probably.
because I own it.
Hang on. If I go to versions, it'll probably tell me, right? English Special Edition doesn't sound like the right title. Does it have its own entry? Does it have its own entry? Firefly, the
It
game,
shouldn't have its
10th
own-
anniversary collector's edition.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't it pick something fun?
I mean, there was definitely things to play with in this verse, so I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much.
All right. Go ahead.
So I wanted to mention
Mm-hmm.
a smaller game that we played that
Mm.
I had never played before, and I feel like you enjoyed it too. Cluster.
Yeah, Cluster was cool.
I had never played Cluster before, and there's like so many like fake versions of this game, by the way. If you look on Amazon,
Oh, really?
like there's these like little. It's not Cluster, but it's the same concept. But Cluster was it's one of those fun, put it on the table, and you can play a game really quick, because you've got these magnetic outlets. First,
They're all magnets.
they're all magnets, different size, different polarities, and you're placing them, and you want to be the last. You want to place your last piece down.
You're placing them in a tied up shoestring.
Yes,
By the way.
which you're kind of thrown out on the table.
Yes.
So it's kind of cool because different shapes, etc. I'm comparing it actually to, we had reviewed now it's slipping my mind the game, but we reviewed the one game from PAX Unplugged, and I know we were flicking in it.
Oh,
but
the heads will roll.
Heads will roll. But I'm comparing it obviously not magnets in that one, and I know it was flicking, but in a small table space, you could quickly put this game down. But this one just drew my attention and kept me wanting to play it.
Yeah, it was cool. So in Cluster, right, the goal is to get rid of all of your magnets, right? So as you're putting down different magnets into the ring, right, you could place them down into the ring, and if they connect to another magnet, that's bad. So you take all the magnets that got connected.
Yep.
While it's your turn. And even if it's like you didn't really necessarily cause it and it happened to be your turn, you just take them, right?
Yep.
Because you're the active player at that point. But what's cool is that when you do place the magnets, you could actually like run against the ring and kind of slide the ring over.
As long as you don't touch it with your fingers, as long as you're pushing the magnet
you're
against
pushing the
it.
magnet the whole time.
Yeah.
And by the way, Cluster, I didn't even look up who designed it. Designed by Paula Henning and Robert Henning. And published by Borderline Editions. It has a 1.01 weight. And I agree with that. Like, it's very straightforward. You just that's the game. But when you get into a situation like this, where you got to put a magnet down, and when you put it down, things are going to get pretty messy. There's space over here, sure, but
Yeah, but some of them have a different.
they have different sizes.
So they're gonna draw no matter what, and
Yeah.
So, when it comes down to it, like I said, for me, it stood out as this fun little game. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention it just because I had never heard of it, sadly, and now I know about it, so I want to share it with more people. I think kids and all that, family, and I think even like just as a mind break between other games.
Would you say a mind cluster?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. No, that was cluster. So cluster was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that one.
All right, we have a caller. Oh, hang on. Do we have a caller?
We do have.
Yes, 2 minutes. Oh, that 2 minutes? Oh, is that a yes or no? You're good. Okay, we'll bring him in. We could see, by the way, people calling in.
Oh, yeah, we do see you.
Yeah. So we'll bring him in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back.
Hello.
Howdy. Sorry, I was trying to give like a signal, like, yeah, I'm here. That's okay. But I was doing a poor job at it.
It could have been like, hang on, be right back. Being 3.
It was either no 2 minutes or yes, I'm good. I don't,
But welcome back, Tyler, the Iron Horse, to the show.
Yeah, we'll make a comeback, and trying to do so as often as possible. So
yeah. Well, what have you been playing? No. You always bring some good ones to the table.
So I said last month there was one game that I was going to bring that I started and I needed to play more of, and that's Marvel Champions. And I
pull it up.
I'm going through. I just did a little rules refresher because it turns out I've been doing some little stuff wrong.
That's easy to do in Marvel Champions. I feel like, though,
right?
Like, there's a little thing or here or there. Not to mention the rules have gone through some revisions over time,
Mm-hmm.
so you kind of have to look at like that latest download as it is with many living card games. So
that goes without saying. I think with Fantasy Flight. A lot of their rules ambiguities are very like, what?
Yeah.
What'd you mess up?
Yeah, so it's something so simple that's just like I should have known. But I was watching a different YouTube, like how to play of the 1.5 rules, and it was the when you defend with your hero, it's exhausted, and then it's not readied at the end, going into the player phase after the villain phase. So
I messed that up.
Really? Yeah. So if you defend with your hero, you then have to exhaust them, and they aren't readied again until the end of the next player phase.
Oh wait! No, that's correct. I've been doing right.
Yeah,
because you choose, like, you use it for defense.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to defend, or are you just going to take the
because you want to attack or thwart on your turn?
Yeah. So I was messing that part up. So that was a big part. Then that's probably easy. Something I should have realized. Yeah.
As a new player, I can see that though. That's pretty. Again, that's it. As you said, Fantasy Flight. But you picked up a decent amount of packs. I know at this point.
Yeah. I have a fair amount now. So I just got. Storm was the last one, and probably the last one that I'll get this year. Nice. But I have a whole, I think I have 17 or 20 different heroes to play as. And I'm pulling up my tracker right now because I'm a nerd. I like spreadsheets.
Very nice. For those watching, I've seen the tracker. It's fantastic. It's very well done.
And also, we have a Marvel, as Tyler knows, because he posts to it very frequently. Mm-hmm. Yep. We have a Marvel Champions channel on our Discord that you post all your playthroughs on, which are great.
And
I will point out, by the way, Tyler, if I may, that I will publicly thank him because he's also been helping me with. We have a Google Doc. I've been posting in the one shots that they're posting, and Tyler's updating the doc. So it's pinned up at the top. So if anyone watches and says, man, I missed some of those one shots, we've got a doc that we're tracking them all. Yep. So Tyler's part of that too.
Yeah. So I'm facing each villain that I have roughly 7 times. I've mapped it out to go down the list. So I'm done with Rhino and Ultron. I'm working through Claw right now.
Okay.
And then Venom will be next.
Oh,
So
nice.
I have a running list. The only ones I'm not playing 7 of is the Green Goblin Villa Scenario Pack, I think it is.
Yeah.
Where there's the Mutagen Formula and Risky Business. Those are only getting played 5 and 4 times just because they're the bottom of the list. So I'm like, they're the same as kind of essentially. So I'll play those less.
Well, I really like with the Green Goblin that he has like an alter ego side. I think on the Risky Business one, right? It's the other one that he doesn't have the alter ego side, right?
I'm gonna be honest. I with that pack, I labeled it, got the divider in, and I put it in with the villains, and that's all I did with it.
Oh my goodness! But that one's cool because what I like about that one in particular is that he's a super villain that has an alter ego side. So much like how the super villain can't attack the heroes when they're in their alter ego side, you can't attack Green Goblin when he's in his alter ego side.
This is the exact reason I need a Winter Soldier. Because you could do some fun things with the Winter Soldier where you know he's the bad guy, but he gets put into cyber sleep.
Okay,
I'm just taking it fun.
All right. Anyways, continue, Tyler.
Yeah, the other game that I was if there's 2 I was going to talk about. This one is a review copy that I was provided by Grail Games. And it is The Gardens.
Let me pull that up.
So,
by the way, I do want to highlight that Mitchell Memories is saying spreadsheets are awesome. And if you do feel that way, might I recommend you play some 18xx games. There's some really awesome ones. This one, The Gardens 2022 release?
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. So this copy was provided to me, and I will be, there'll be a write-up on it for Comic Book Yeti at some point. And so it's a nice little like tile placement game. You're working through, you're doing the little things of trying to build out your garden in Sydney, whether it's have the longest pathway, build the streams, or something as simple as having the most trees of different types in your row. So there's in-game scoring with it, but then there's also end-game scoring that you have to focus on. I haven't touched too much on the advanced scoring tiles or the landmark cards or board as well. So there's a lot that I haven't touched with this yet, but the base game alone, there's a lot with it. So there's a whole bunch that can go into it, and you can do a different variable stuff as well with the central board. Right in the middle of the board, you can adjust it to be to the left further, to the right further, and that can essentially change maybe how your strategy goes to get points. So it's a fun light one. Maybe takes like, I think with 4 people it took like an hour to play. Okay. So it's not horribly long, but it's also, there's still enough strategy, enough challenge with it, trying to figure out how you want to place your tiles down.
I like the art.
Yeah, is this like one player's board then?
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
Yeah. That's one player's board. The one nice thing, if you go in the first row of pictures, oh no, I'm just trying to find the scoring board and see if I can.
This one,
middle row on the yep.
Ooh.
So that right there, that board, the scoring board is double layered too. So the top 3 tiles are in-game scoring, and then the bottom 4 are end-game scoring. So you see everything that you're working for, and then the cards to the left are the ones that you're drafting. So all those that are out there are the ones available for that round to draft. So you draft one from A, one from B, one from C, and then you place it on your board either to the right or left of where you already placed. So you're working through to do a nice job with that. And I think the final score was like, I tied with 118 with my neighbor, and then there was 106 or something like that. So it's pretty high scoring. The only thing that I would maybe recommend is I found a way to mark it if you passed over 0 because it only goes to 50. There's no like 50 or 100 marker with the game. So that's the only thing that I maybe saw as like a downfall of the game.
Yeah. Well, your meeples, right, are moving around, so you can maybe
do
something.
Yeah. So your meeples, but during the game, your meeples are your visitors, and they have to stay in that path until the end of the game.
Yeah.
So we came across it where we passed the 50 mark during the game, and so
and there's no
it's
tokens or something to indicate that. I guess you could pull from another game or something,
whatever.
but you can go with that. Write 50 on a piece of paper. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Right. But you're going to know as well, too, that if you pass over it or not. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, interesting. It looks nice. And you said it looks like, what is it, a weight around a 2 or something? 2.
Yeah, it's something super light. So.
It doesn't look heavy. It looks like it's
no, it's not.
Cool. That was The Gardens.
Yeah. So that'll be published. It's in the review process right now. So it'll be posted in the Discord once that's settled.
Yeah.
So, but
fun reminder for everyone: if you are watching this video at some point, we'd love to have you in the Tabletop Express Discord. We update the links in the videos. Those links do eventually expire, so I always just say check the latest video, and you'll be able to grab one of the latest links. But I know you'll be sharing your reviews over in the promo area that we have, so definitely look forward to that one.
What was your last choice, sir?
Yeah.
So the last one we'll do, and Barrows and I will probably be going back and forth the rest of the year on this one. Is a field of
yes.
You're gonna have to help me with the name.
The Field of the Cloth of Gold.
Yes.
503rd anniversary edition.
Oh my god, so good.
Hang on, the Field of the Cloth. Why is this taking forever? There it is.
I was gonna say.
I know what the game is. Yeah,
I know.
It rolls right out the tongue. The Field of the Cloth of Gold, 503rd anniversary edition.
Annabelle Holland,
designed by Annabelle Holland. First of all, I know you played it. I know you know how to play it. Have you read the rule book?
No.
I vaguely, if I did. I think I watched a video.
I know. Don't worry about the video. I'm gonna pull up the rule book. Oh my goodness, I gotta sign in. Ugh. Okay, I don't want to sign in. We'll see my rating of it. It's very good for what it's worth. Hang on. The rule book is great because the rule book is written in like ye olde English.
Oh, very.
I think it starts off with "hark."
Do you want me to pull it up? I'll just
pull it up.
I'll read it from a phone.
But tell us about your thoughts on the Field of the Cloth of Gold. Are you pulling?
So it. Yeah. So, I think it's really good. I like it a lot. I think it's there's enough variance of it. The tiles that are drawn, the different stuff that there is with it. It's like every game's different, no matter what. So, and you can
aggressive gift giving.
Yeah, you can squat in a spot for the longest time possible if you want to. I think both of us have done that plenty of times, and whatnot, and trying to block each other from a certain spot and whatnot. So
literally the last turn I took in our latest game, I could have gone to the spot to score if I had most gold, but I don't have most gold. Or I could go to the spot to get, at this point, 2 pieces, two more tiles to potentially get more gold. But in turn, I would have given you gold.
Right.
And then you would have had more gold to go to the spot to get the 2 points for having the most gold. I was like, no, what's going on?
The pressure you have, right, is because the constant thing to keep in mind about this game is if you are collecting a lot of gold, you don't want a lot of points as you're playing the game.
Nope.
You want your points to score at the end, because at the end, gold is scored, and gold is only worth whatever that value is in whatever row your marker is in, your score marker, right? So in this case, this first row, it's where every gold is worth 3 points. This one's every gold is worth 2 points. So, every 3 points as well. So the blue player has their gold at 3 points apiece, whereas the red player has their gold at 2 points apiece, and then it drops immediately to 1 point apiece.
Yeah.
And Oh man, it is awful when you have all this gold and it's just thwarted. Usually because all those jewels come out, and those jewels really are
Those jewels,
something
what,
else.
4 points? Is that what?
No, the jewels score exponentially, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
So
based
if
on how
you-
many.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so if you have 1, it's 1 point. If you have 2, it's 4
4
points. If you have
points.
3, it's 9 points.
They go, yeah. So,
Mhm.
by the way, game description here. In June 1520, at Bellingham, there met the young and glorious kings of England and France in a grand and splendid celebration of their mutual friendship and admiration. There were great feasts and opulent amusements, conspicuous expressions of the deepest and sincerest piety, and fierce tournaments.
Mhm.
Each king outshone the other in turn, so he might be astounded at the wealth and power of each kingdom. So many tents and raiments were made of precious cloths of gold that the field is so named.
Yeah. So, and it's just like constant, just like that's exactly what you're doing. You're just like trying to outgift each other, and I just love that. It translates so well in this game.
It's great.
Easily my favorite Annabelle Holland design, just because of how like knifey it is, and how really in your opponent's face it is. I know Anthony recently played it too.
Yeah.
And he thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's a game too. Like Todd can speak to it because one of the games that we played, literally, he was just trying to get me to go down one more point because he knew how much gold I had.
Yeah.
He just wanted to go down one more row because then my gold went from 2 points per to 1 point.
Right.
Yep.
And that was all you wanted to accomplish. And there are ways to do that. So you can mitigate. You actually want your opponents to like it. How many games do you say you want your opponents to score more points?
Yeah, never. Which is
Like,
great.
that's what makes it so unique. So yeah, we had fun. We played this. It was, we played a game, and then we said, "Oh, let's do one more," and then we said, "No, let's do one more."
Mm-hmm.
So it turned into
What, that was
3
last
games.
Thursday?
In a half hour, I think we played 3 games online.
Yeah, 3 games. Yeah.
So
also, might I add, your heart out miniature games. Did you not see the fearsome dragon? There it is, right there on its perch, just waiting.
The white token.
No, it's the fearsome dragon. That's how it is in the rulebook. It's the fearsome dragon.
Yes.
I don't track my online plays, so I don't know if you are, Barrows. I'd be interested, and I could probably just count on Rally the Troops
I
at the end of the
haven't
year.
tracked them all. I've been looking at Rally the Troops. I think you're up in the
I think
series.
Rally the Troops
like,
logs them.
They do. I think you're up like 5
Okay.
games, 3 or something right now.
Oh, no. I was just talking about like total games at the end of the year. It's going to be horse apiece at the end of the year.
I will be tracking them, but yeah, it's a game that's going to get a lot of plays because basically, I think we're at the point where we're just restarting a new one after one ends. It's like, all right, new one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not thinking about it. It's just restart. So no, I'm glad you really like this one. I really love this one. I was talking to Ryan about it before we actually started tonight. Just how
this one is of it with me.
Like, this is full. I did invite you. And it's just flying up my like list because I'm playing it more and more.
Mm-hmm.
So
don't sleep on the field of the cloth.
No, definitely not.
No, people need to play this. I'm happy to teach this game to anyone. If you want to learn, just reach out to me here or on the Discord or wherever. Happy to teach this game to you. We can play online.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's all I had. There's a bunch of other stuff I can talk about with games, but we'll save that as for next month for other stuff. So
sounds
awesome.
Good. All right, sir.
We'll
see you.
Thank you guys.
Chat. See you in the Discord.
Yep. See you in the chat. Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good. See you guys.
All right. So let's see. You brought up the last game that you brought up.
Yeah. Quick reminder. I see Marcel in the chat. Friendly reminder. Call-board.com if you want to call in, just like Tyler did. We'd love to see you. But now go ahead.
I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna cheat because I can. I played a trilogy of games.
Oh man,
sir. A solo trilogy.
Oh, that's right.
Of a 9-card solitaire game. 3 of them. I played Orchard.
Okay.
I played Forage, and I played Grove. All 3 of them.
Got it. They came in a pack.
A
triple pack.
The big old triple pack that I backed on backer kit as a late pledge.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to think about it. This is designed by Mark Tuck. And let's talk about them. So I got all 3, and in Orchard, you're going to be basically putting down different cards, overlapping them to score different. Let me see. Here's an example of one, right? To collect different combinations of fruit. And what you're doing is you're overlapping trees of the same color, and when you do, you're gonna put a die down on top of it.
Okay.
You overlap them again. You're gonna take that die and increase it a number.
All right, so it goes 1 to 2, 2 to 3.
No, it doesn't. It goes 1 to 3.
Okay.
I think it's 1 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 10.
Oh, okay. So they're not standard. They're not standard.
Yeah. So there's 9 cards, and that's how the first card is like the lay down one, and then you're just kind of placing them on. And you can place like literally if you have one, it's like a perfect combination of like these 2 purples and these 2 reds and these 2 yellows. You can just pop it on top, and boom, you got everything upgraded. But there is a catch.
Ooh.
There is a catch.
There's always a catch.
You mess up, right? There's a little. I think that in this one, what are they? Snails or something? Let me take a look. There's something. I played like they're all kind of merging in my head together, but the overall general mechanics are the same across all 3. There it is. It is a worm, right? That's a worm. What is that? Yeah,
it's a worm.
Right, it's a worm.
That's a worm.
Yeah, it's a worm. So, and that counts as negative points.
Yeah.
And then you just count your score, and how you did is how you win.
What'd you think?
It's cute.
It's cute.
It's cute. Don't love it. It's cute. But then I played Forage, which is the latest in the series, right?
Yeah.
And in Forage, it's a little bit more of the same, right? You're placing down on different spots, and now the spots have the fields have to match. Okay, so the fields have to match, and then when you place them down, right? Here's the thing: when you place them down, if there are fruit on top of one and the other, or I guess one's fruit, right? One is a mushroom and the other is an acorn. If they are matching, right, then you put down a die. But there might be cases where you get into this situation, right, where you're going to have on every card a half filled in one that is a wild of those 2, but it bears no fruit. So it doesn't actually upgrade the fruit that's there. Okay.
So it makes it a little bit more complicated than the original.
A little bit. And
slight uptick.
I didn't like it as much.
Got it.
Didn't like it as much. It's probably my least favorite out of all the 3. But that was Forage, and there's a mouse too. That also kind of does the same thing where it's like, well, I think it's like a push your luck thing. I forget what it does. I forget.
What's the third one in the series then?
But the third one and the last one was Grove. And out of the 3, this is my favorite one, right? So Grove is the 9-card solitaire game. And in this one, right, you're placing them down. And 2 of the cards, right, you flip over, and they're going to give you special bonus points.
Interesting.
Think of it like a Sprawlopolis kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Sprawlopolis or whatever.
Which I believe, by the way, this was added into Forage. I don't recall if it was in Orchard, though.
Okay.
But now what you're doing is instead, when you matching fruit on, the number of fruit on the specific bush matter because they add together.
Okay.
So if there's a 1 lime, you put it on a 2 lime, you get a 3 lime. It's a 3 lime.
Yeah.
If you do a 3 lime,
math in my head here.
Do a 3 lime, you can go up to a 6 lime, and then you can go up. I think even to.
Does it go up to 10 then?
Is
it
no,
1
It's 15. It's 15. You get an overflow wheelbarrow of 50. Go over. 6.
I love the components though for it. It's cute. Like I know. I mean, it's one of those that. I don't know. I enjoy the simplicity of what you're describing.
I think you should try all 3. I have it on my sell pile, but I think you should try all 3.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I imagine I'm gonna like one more than another, but
yeah,
it seems like I wouldn't need all 3 if I was a person.
I don't think you need all 3, but honestly, it's such like a small box. Like we're talking like this size.
Yeah,
so
it's not a lot.
It's pretty straightforward. But yeah, Grove, a 9-card solitaire game in the trilogy of Orchard and Forge. Of the 3, if I had to pick one, it's going to be Grove.
Okay.
But, your mileage may vary. That's it.
Cool. We have someone, however.
Oh, my goodness. I haven't seen him in weeks.
Weeks.
But we'll bring him in.
Yeah.
You ready?
Do it.
3, 2, 1. Hello.
Oh, Chuck.
Hey, how are we doing?
We're doing great. How are you?
Unga Unga. Unga
Oonga,
Boonga.
oonga. Yeah. We did play that game too.
How we didn't take video of that game, I still don't
I
understand.
have. We have photos.
I have photos.
We have
You have
photos.
photos.
Like,
I have photos.
like doing that.
Yeah, I thought I posted it in the
Oh yeah, you did.
yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm
Video
surprised
notes.
we didn't take video.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we did. Just so you know, we did end up talking about Cluster tonight. We were definitely
Oh.
impressed by like how much we ended up playing it. It was like one of those experiences. We talked a little bit about fire.
We talked about Incognito.
Yeah, we did talk about.
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
But
But
I
I
know
tried playing it off like, oh, guys, I have this tick. I always wink. I always
Yeah,
wink.
well,
no,
that's where I found out I
funny.
can't actually wink with my left eye.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
But look, we did get to play some games together. And again, this is nothing so for people to have a perspective here. I generally speaking have had a chance to get some games to the table. When you hear me talk about Betrayal Legacy, all those games I've played them with you. So, but we got a lot of different games to the table a few weeks ago. So I'm not sure if any of those stood out from the ones we got a chance to play together. Because man, there was some good games.
Oh yeah, we definitely got a bunch in there. I mean, so sounds like you already mentioned a handful of the good ones that we did.
yeah. So we mentioned Cluster,
We mentioned Cluster, Incognito, and Firefly.
and Firefly.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, one that was kind of fun to me, it was surprising, was the end of night game we did. Jungle, was it Jungle Speed?
Jungle Speed.
Jungle Speed, yeah.
Which I
So-
believe you have my copy now. Well, you're going to have.
I'm going to.
Let me pull that up.
So, just a really simple game that after a long day, a couple of drinks, gets really interesting.
Yeah.
And the whole premise of this is you're basically putting cards down one at a time, and if a pair comes up, you got to try and grab that middle and you want to try and shed all of your cards.
Right.
Well, some of these symbols look very similar, and in the interest of trying to get there first, some of us might accidentally grab that middle and then have to get more cards.
Mm-hmm.
So it is in practice, a simple game, is very fun, especially when you're all going for that thing at the same time.
Yeah.
It's crazy how close some of them look, though. Like you look at his shape,
Yeah.
and it's just so slight. Like they did
Let me
such.
see if they have like some really good examples of how slight they
I mean, the
are.
background behind it is unfortunately really
Yeah.
good, and you can hardly see it. But it's really similar. Like people have to understand just how close some of these symbols are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like,
So
you
if you're
see
looking
that
at the
pie.
circle there,
Oh yeah, like those circles. There's gonna be another one that comes out where maybe a circle's slightly bigger, or there's one
And
I
this
think
is
in
like
that
an
yellow
octagon,
one in the
circle,
corner there
octagon.
too, they have one where it's circles on the outer and then the other shape in the middle there.
Yeah.
yeah.
That one was. It's just, man.
It-
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, and we ended up doing this a few times, I know, because it's one of those games that ends fairly quickly. Like the
Yeah.
game does not overstay its welcome by any means, but oh man, a few drinks in the system, this game is it can get a little crazy.
Oh yeah, and then there's like what was it? There's this one that you have to. Oh, everyone has it's
That was like the
everyone
duel where
touched
everyone
one?
played a card, and if you
Yeah.
matched up, you had a duel and you had to grab the middle.
right.
And then there was
And
one
then
where
there was
everyone
another
had to.
one where everyone just needs to rush and grab it. I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
It-
that was a fun, surprising game for me.
Yeah.
That was that one.
Yeah, another quick game too as well, and kind of mentioned it in the Discord that we played it this weekend was Mamma Mia.
Ooh, here we go again. Let me pull
Oh
it up.
yeah.
Yep. So ended up getting that, and I didn't tell my daughter. I was out cooking chicken. I'm like, hey, go open that box so you guys can play a game while I'm cooking, and she was very excited.
Oh yeah.
By the way, it's Mamma Mia because it's as an exclamation point. Can't just it's not Mamma Mia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not ABBA.
exclamation point. But this is a great game.
Yeah, so I mean, again, with this one here, it's just trying to remember exactly what you put down in what order, what other people have put down, and hoping you can place your order before somebody else. So
Yeah.
that way the ingredients are there when you go to make your pizza. Again, just another really quick game, simple rules, pretty easy to go forward.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I disagreed with this is, and I'm a firm believer of this, is pineapple does not belong on pizza. So
I'm
I would
sorry.
replace that card with something else.
I mean, you could just say it's extra cheese,
I think someone actually did do that.
like cheddar. You know?
I think my mom thought it was cheese, actually.
Yeah. Look, Kalen destroyed me in that game. There you go.
What I like about this one is I've taught this one to my family, and outside of my 6-year-old daughter, who to some extent can figure out, everyone picked up on this one immediately the first time I showed them, and this was probably a year prior to probably about a year ago. So it is one that I feel like you could pick up pretty easy, but there's the fun part of the reveal as you're going through. All right, let's go. All right, here's all these ingredients. All right, oh, here's a recipe. Did you fill it? Oh, you got it. And then that feeling when you're the person and you know your recipe's coming up soon and you know you're not going to have enough ingredients.
Yeah,
Right,
you're
'cause
just
there's one
missing
shared
that
oven.
one ingredient.
Yeah.
Yeah, the oven is the discard pile. There's one shared discard pile,
Yeah.
and everyone's contributing to it.
The-
You can use any ingredients in there, but once a pizza fulfills it, those ingredients go away.
Yeah.
That reveal is pretty exciting.
The reveal is so good in this one. So I think this does a great job. And there's a reason that I think this one is a hit with so many people.
Yeah. And
All right.
there's some. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, I disagree, Kristen.
Take it out on the.
That's like when people tell me
Yeah.
Chicago style pizza is better than New York City, and I'm
that
just
means
like,
she's
like,
always
no.
the yellow player now in this game.
Oh, good
Uh,
choice.
And I mean, I guess one other quick game too. Played it this past weekend with my family. It's a trick-taking game called Xylotar.
Oh, I wanted to play that. You brought it with you too.
Yeah. So this game, one easy, quick game for anyone trying to do the alphabet challenge with
Yep.
an X. Is the entire reason I picked this one up. But also trick-taking. It's colorful. It's got a space bear playing a Xylotar. I mean, it hits on almost every fire.
Based on cover design, it wins. You're saying?
Pretty much, yeah. So in this game here, you're going to basically get dealt out all the cards. Depending on how many players, they might remove one of the colors. Each card has a set number for that color.
Mhm.
And so like the reds are 0 through 10. I forget, the lowest color might be pink or something like that. It's like 0 through 3. So you
Mhm.
go through, you organize it from left to right. You got the highest number to the lowest. Take that deck, you hand it to the next person. They put it all face down in order from highest to lowest. And they don't know what their numbers are, but they know what the suit is because of the color. And on the cards, you can actually see they have musical notes to help differentiate too between the different suits, which is
That's cool.
nice. So, and as you're going, you're trying to basically win tricks, but you don't know exactly which color you have, or sorry, what number you have in there. You have an idea. If you're grabbing from the right, chances are it's a lower number. Grabbing from the left, it's a higher number.
Hmm.
But you might end up with a situation where you've only got like 0 through 4s, but you don't think that. So it gets tough to win the tricks. And then another interesting thing that they do is you got to make a bid at some point during the game. So you'll take 2 adjacent cards, you'll pick them up, look at them. You might have a 4 and a 1. Now you're going to basically pick one of those cards and say, hey, I'm going to win 4 hands this round. I'm only going to win 1. And that gets you an additional 5 points for the round. So you score a 1 per
nice.
trick, and then 5 if you hit your bid. So it was actually a really fun game, really quick and easy to set up and play too. It's just got a good table presence.
That system reminds me of the betting factor in the trick-taking cat game that's now completely
Cat in the Box.
Cat in the Box, yeah. So
oh yeah, the one where you don't you pick the color on that one, like the Schrodinger cat one.
I'm a big fan of Cat in the Box. I'm not sure why it needed to be huge. I'm still not clear on why they made a gigantic version of it.
Cat fit in the box.
I know.
Probably, right? That's got to be the reason.
I can't confirm nor deny if the cat's in the box.
Yeah.
There you go. See?
There you go.
There you go. Your Honor, please.
Oh man. I did want to note By the way, and in case you called in, I was gonna say one thing I'm hoping we can find a way to try virtually sometime is, and I have it here, so I'm just gonna say it. Is
Pagan?
this?
Yeah.
Because we can
Bring it
both
back up. Bring it back up. What was
Pagan.
it? Pagan. Fate of Roanoke.
So my copy came in hoping we can find a way to maybe do that.
Should be able to.
Well, the cards, the nice thing is in that game in particular, the cards are all numbered. So
Yep.
if you say I put this card here, it's number whatever, easy enough. So I think it will play really well to that. But my copy arrived today. I happened to have bring it over to show them, and I'm excited.
We did end up trying to do a playthrough on that one. I misunderstood the witch's winning factor, so Kristen kicked my butt.
Oh.
I was like, "Hey, what is she doing over there?" Oh, I'm dead. So, but yeah, and the cool thing too is some of those cards that you play might end up on the other side of, so if I'm the hunter, some of the cards I can play can be played on either the hunter or the witch side. So having the numbers on them is nice.
Yeah.
I don't see why we couldn't do that one over.
Oh, I think it's based on what I've read, totally doable. So
over a stream?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Over a stream, and it's gonna have a big expansion. And again, this game existed previously. This is now coming to the States essentially. But there's gonna have the big expansion that adds a bunch more and more scenarios. Because right now I think the game only comes with 2 scenarios. But you can play just the game itself without the scenarios. But then there's also 3 expansion boxes. Or like 3 expansion packs.
Okay.
So there's going to have 3 expansion packs, and then there also going to be a big first expansion. So there will be more money, provided I like my play of it. There'll be more money going into this game, it sounds like, is what I've learned.
Cool.
So, which I knew going in. So, but yeah, wanted to bring that up since you were here.
Looking forward to it. So that's all I got.
Thank you for calling, sir.
Thank you.
Not a problem. We'll have plenty more next month when I get those like 17 games in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
yes.
Hamster Roll. I'm
Mojo
excited for that. Mojo.
Yeah, Hamster Roll, Mojo. I'm looking forward to Tasso Banana.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
And
that
Jekyll and Hyde versus Scotland Yard.
Yep.
The other one too, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So awesome. A bunch of good stuff. So all right, have a good one, guys.
Looking forward to it.
All right, man. Later.
So
cool.
I'm gonna bring up my BG stats real quick.
Why? Okay. While you do that, I'm just gonna jump into my next game.
Yeah, because I wanted to pick up my play. Well, no, I know what it is.
We're doing one more game and then
one more game each.
One more game each.
One more game each. Okay. I'll do a call now, and I'll do a call after that for if anyone wants to call in. Call-board.com. We're each going to cover a game. We'll do a call for if anyone else wants to call in, and then reviews.
Okay.
That's how we're going to do it.
I revisited one of my top 10s. And
Alchemist.
And it's right here. It's Alchemist. By Matus Kotri. Came out in 2014, published by Czech Games Edition. I always have a special place in my heart with this game because when I went to Washington, D.C., I made sure to stop at the local game shop, which was Labyrinth, which is an amazing local game shop. You guys, if you ever go into Washington, D.C., check out Labyrinth. And I was recommended Alchemist when I was there, and I fell in love with this game. So it is a deduction game. Well, it's not really, right? It's an action kind of game. You put action cubes out, you do actions, and it's a parody on higher learning, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to publish different theories out, and you're publishing different theories based on the 8 different kinds of ingredients. Where is a better picture? Here's the whole mamma jamma. Oh, look at that.
That was very cool.
Look at that. There's also an app integrated board game, but it doesn't mean most of the game is in the app. You use the app just for like a scan, you're done. You're back into the game.
Yeah, you've told me this is one of the better iterations you've seen of an app.
Of an app integrated board game.
The best.
So in this game, right, you are going to try to figure out the chemical compositions of different ingredients, right? We're talking mushrooms and scorpions and mandrake root and toads and chicken foot and stuff. And you're doing it in a Sudoku-esque style.
Okay.
Because what you're doing is you're going to scan, in this case, you're scanning a feather, and a scorpion, and it'll give you a kind of potion it made. Did it make a positive blue potion? Did it make a negative red potion?
Does it change every time?
It changes every time.
So every time you play it,
everyone's on the same like game code.
okay,
because everyone
but
uses their own phones.
every game is different, is what
Yes.
you're saying. That so the replayability was high for
Through
that
the
reason.
roof.
Okay.
Through the roof. So you're trying to figure out what the combination is, and how the combination works is okay. This is the mathier kind of part that can make or break your game of Alchemist. But if you learn this, you will be great. Where is it? Where's a nice picture of it? Oh, it was featured on South Park. That's pretty cool. Where is a nice one? Man, where are the symbols?
Western Legends was the big one featured on South Park.
Legends was also here. We go. Okay, so at the end of the game, you will be revealed as to what made what. Okay, so in this case, right, if the feather and the scorpion were put together, they would make a negative blue potion. How do you know this, right? So, okay, your eyes look so glazed right now. That's okay.
I'm paying attention.
How it works is you find the matching symbols of the matching colors that are different sizes. You put them together and it makes one. So in this case, you'll see that a positive green is a small positive green, and a large negative green makes nothing. The small negative red and the positive small red makes nothing. But a matching symbol of negative,
a negative and
blue,
a negative with
they're blue,
but they're both one small,
but one
big.
small, one big. It's going to make a negative blue potion. So you mark that down on your sheet, and when you're crossing off on your sheet, you know, okay, they have to both have negative blue. So that means I can cross off this option, this option, this option, this option. You're crossing off all those options, and you're going throughout the game trying to figure that out. But the thing is, you have very limited actions, you have very limited resources, and you're trying to publish theories. And usually, when you're publishing theories, you have no idea if it's actually true or not. So you're going to be putting down different things. And just like in higher learning, when you publish your theories, you have to pay for the publication of your own book and then push it out. And then if other people support your theory, they got to pay you to also support their theory and publish their own book. But then you could also debunk their theory. It's wild. It's crazy. It's amazing. Not only that, you can test it on different interns. And when you test it on the interns, right?
Oh boy.
So the interns are going to drink the potions.
That's not ethical.
No, it's not. So the interns drink the potions. If it's a positive making potion, no problem. If it's a negative potion, though, all the other interns that are going to be drinking potions that round are going to hear the rumors of that one intern that got poisoned earlier in the round, and so you have to pay them $1 to say no, please just drink it, you know. But you can also test on yourself, which if that's the case, you either are okay, or if it's a negative potion, it will give you negative consequences. And God. You can also do it on sellers too, because throughout the game, there's going to be different different like people wanting to buy potions. So you get to go in like merchant mode and offer them to buy potions from you.
Can we combine this on a night with Quacks of Quedlinburg and just, you know,
this? So
or is it long?
Very long.
Okay, so disregard that because that would be a very long night.
The first game can be very long, especially with new players, because the thing about this game is you're very much in your own silo. You're literally in this giant player screen right in front of you. Here, there was a better picture.
Do we each have are we each using our own phone for it?
Everyone's using their own phone. Look, this guy is not bored. He is playing the game, okay? So you are just you're like presented with this giant screen that no one else can see, that you're writing down on your sheet, and everyone else is doing the same thing.
So it is a math game.
It is a math game to some degree.
Yeah.
It is largely a BS game. And I love that aspect of it. It does so many things right. It is so outlandishly batshnikes nuts that it just
outside of you giving a score on this, you basically reviewed it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's pretty much a 10
and
or
it's
a 9.
Well, this is in your top 20.
Yeah,
so
top 10.
Oh, this they're
the top 10er.
Yeah.
So there's nothing else like it on the market. If this sounds bizarre and wild and crazy, that's because it is. It's also not for everyone. I've played games of Alchemist where people have that glazed look that Barrels just gave me.
Oh my god!
At the beginning.
No,
I know, but I've had people who have that for 2 hours, and I'm
2
like,
hours of that?
yeah,
Oh,
but
that's not good.
I'm like, guys, we could stop. I'm like, no, keep going. And I hate that in board games. Look, I get it. Like, if we're all not liking the game, if some of us are and some of us are really just not grasping it, like, let's just stop playing the game.
Let's not keep doing that.
For real. Like, this is a social thing, and like we could play something else. It's not like there's no other board games out there. But, and I mean but, if this is a game that sounds like it's for you, I'm ready to play it anytime. That's Alchemist.
Awesome. So I do want to play this, and
Marcel says he's in. So there you go.
My Little Alchemist is the other thing that was announced recently.
It's just Little Alchemist.
Or just Little Alchemist.
Yeah.
So that's a 2024 release that we know is coming out. So
yeah. So I don't know if this is like the kid version or just a lighter version of Alchemist. You know what I mean? It's.
I only know the title.
I don't know if it's a kid's game.
I know I submitted to see if we could get
it's just a family-friendly deduction game. And that's the thing, like with Alchemist, right? It's framed as a deduction game, but the deduction is really the side piece.
Yeah.
To the whole giant puzzle.
You're talking there's a lot more going on than just the deduction.
There's a lot more going on. And also, too, I highly recommend it at 2 players. I brought it before on our top 2-player games of all time that are not just 2-player only games. And Alchemist, for sure, I think is a fantastic 2-player game. BGG says best of 4. I strongly disagree. I think 2 is actually my preferred player count for Alchemist. So
interesting. So I'm struggling because we played so many games. I played so many games. I'm gonna mention one, and I'm guessing a future review from Anthony and I on this in the least, if not all of us. But I want to mention this because I had a chance to play Horrified World of Monsters.
World of Monsters.
So it's the latest in the Horrified series. In particular, Horrified World of
Monsters. Was this designed by Prospero Hall? I see no designer.
Interesting. What does it say when you click
It says designer NA.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that I don't know. Because normally that's my source. But here's the thing. Horrified is a series I've enjoyed. I've liked it a lot. I've noted that it's made me want to even just make my own, like, just for my home, because obviously I ain't going to be selling anything.
Supernatural fight.
Yeah, I kind of want to make a supernatural version, and it's very doable.
Yeah. It's
a very doable thing just for me to home cook for myself. What I liked about this one and what was made it really interesting was, one, they're making better connections to previous games. So you can do certain things. We didn't do this, but you could do some things with Greek monsters with this one.
Okay.
So they realized, we should maybe start to connect this.
Yeah, because they're all standalone.
Right. Now, I don't know if that goes back to the other ones. I know it can connect to Greek monsters. The other thing, it does only come with 4 monsters. I think we went against... Oh man,
I saw a list of them right here.
Yeah, bring up the list.
So we got Cthulhu,
yes,
Sphinx, Yeti, and
it's like a zombie. It's like a zombie thing.
Okay.
The Sphinx and the Yeti is who we went against. That was the recommended start.
Okay.
What's really interesting, again, like all the monsters, different ways to beat them.
Yeah.
The Yeti, you're actually trying to bring all the kids back to the cave, and then you have to calm down the Yeti. The Sphinx is really cool because there's this mathematical puzzle, like riddle here, where you're going to be going around and getting these. You're going to be collecting the tiles, and you have to make them
equal
11, but in the other way down. So you have certain things you have to do before you can even outwit the Sphinx. You have to solve the riddle, and then you have to go. And I believe it's a green 6.
Yeah,
a 6. At least 6 worth of green, not a green 6, but up to 6 worth. Now the cool thing is Cthulhu. You could just do Cthulhu, but Cthulhu's got this advanced version, which is that thing on the right. So you could do Cthulhu, which has this gigantic, like, extra step or 2. Yeah. So it's pretty neat. Now, it's other than that, I will say it's Horrified. I mean, it's not going to break the mold of Horrified. But I thought they executed really well. It was a tough game. We got to pretty early on. We were already at 4 threat level. And then...
You played 2-player?
We played 4.
4-player, okay.
Yeah, so we played 4. So that monster was moving a lot.
Okay.
And we got in some dangerous trouble. But I mean, the board visually was really interesting. All these things, but it's horrified. I will say the model quality for the monsters seemed of a higher quality. But I'll get more into that stuff at maybe in a future review. But like the models I feel like the models have gotten better and better with horrified with every game.
Okay.
So they've looked and I mean the models for the monsters. Obviously, the other pieces are pretty standard what they've done. But I mean, it's horrified. If you like horrified, you're gonna like this. You're gonna want it in your collection. I'm probably gonna add to my collection at some point. Just to have them all. But when it comes down to it, overall good experience. Want to play some more? I want to really try that Cthulhu because that Cthulhu that's a little bit more advanced looks like a lot of fun. But horrified, it fits, and I love it for like Halloween or that fall season. Like putting horrified on the table, totally is worth it. And yeah, Tyler is mentioning played slowly for Cthulhu. Yeah, the Cthulhu. Like I said, you can play. There's a base level Cthulhu, and then there's this more advanced, more difficult Cthulhu. And I look forward to seeing. This is the first time you probably won't ever hear me say I'm excited to try to play Cthulhu. My only thing, I do wish there was more options as the players because there was really 5 different people you could be. I kind of wish like maybe it was 8, like add some variety there. But maybe because you could potentially bring people from other games in. I don't know, and I don't want to speak to that too much because I don't know all about the interconnections and how they did it.
Yeah, it just integrates with horrified Greek monsters. Doesn't say another game.
No, and I wish they found a way to integrate with the other stuff. But again, I get it. They probably after the last one, going into that one, I imagine knew what they were doing, which allowed them to do that. But it was a lot of fun. But if you like Horrified, you're gonna like this one. If you've never played Horrified, this is not gonna be, a bad. You could start with this one, and you'd be fine too.
All of them you could start with, probably.
Yeah.
Right.
This isn't gonna hold you back. Like I said, my biggest thing is 5 characters. I always wish there's more.
Yeah.
Just to give it more options.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, that was Horrified.
World of Monsters.
Yeah.
Cool.
2024 release. It's pretty much I saw on the shelf at Target the other day. So.
Oh, look at that. Was this crossover Supernatural and Scooby-Doo?
I know. Oh, well, there's an episode of that. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's an amazing episode. No, I'm going to, like I said, I've talked about home cooking it myself, and I already have ideas. Like there's a notebook with information about what I would do.
Okay.
And the Impalas in it. So.
Okay.
I already got all my characters picked out too. So it's
whenever they use whenever Horrified, whenever Supernatural stuff uses like the car in any sort of licensing, do they have to get the license too from Chevy for that car?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I mean, they must have got a good deal.
That's how it is at Ghostbusters. They have to get the Cadillac license and to use the Ecto and stuff.
I don't know, but yeah.
Well, whenever they use it with the Cadillac stuff on it, they have to get the license.
Well, Cadillac. They made that car popular again, so I'm pretty sure Chevy owes them for all the. Well, no, that's the aftermarket, so it doesn't matter. No, I don't know. They had a lot of them on set. That's all I know. Friendly reminder: call-board.com if you do want to call in. Other than that, we will jump into some reviews. Friendly reminder for reviews tonight: we've got 3 games. 2 are physical games, and 1, which we're going to try and do in the future, I think, when we've got one, is a game we've discovered more recently on Board Game Arena.
Yes, so we'll start with that one too.
Yeah, let's start with that one because
that's the BGA review.
Yeah, this is our BGA review.
Okay, so let me bring it up.
You're going to want to hear about this one, in my opinion. I mean, not to give too much of my thoughts away, but you're going to want to learn about this one and play it.
Just when you thought there were enough 2-player card games.
There's not.
Welcome to Naishi, a 2-player hand optimization and tableau building.
Yes.
Game. This was designed by Matteo Bieri and Alex Fortunio. It is on Board Game Arena right now in beta, and I think it's in premium beta. Let me share this tab instead. So it's in premium beta. Right there it is, right there.
Yeah.
In this game, right, what you're gonna be doing. Am I playing a game right now? Do I have an active turn right now? Hang on. I probably have an active turn right now, don't I?
I don't know. Why don't you send me?
I don't have an active turn.
Send me an invite sometime after that.
Active turn. Oh man, I finished all my games of it. Okay, maybe view all current.
I mean, my username is literally Tabletop Express,
I
so you
got-
may as well
yeah.
just send me an
No, I
invite.
finished
So we-
all plays of it. Okay, let's just get into the chase. So in Naishi, right, you're going to be playing up against. I'll invite you. I'll
Yeah.
invite you. We'll invite you. Fine. You have to agree now, though.
Oh, that's fine. I have a phone.
All right, agree so we can start that up.
All right. that's
While he waits to agree, I will go to Board Game Geek to show you some pictures. How about that? So in this game, it is a tableau building game where every player has two different tableaus. There's one that's visible in front of them, and there's one that's hidden in their hand. Directly in the middle is what's called the river. The tableaus that are belonging to individual players are called their line, and then their hand is their second tableau.
Yep.
And it's a game where it's a card game where you cannot change the order of your cards. So if you're familiar with Bonanza, that's
Mhm.
another case where you can't change the order of your cards. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go into our game of Naishi, and I will share this tab. So this is what the makeup of the game looks like right here. Throughout the game, no, let me slide over. Throughout the game, there's my line, my hand right now, so I have to select a card. Select a card too.
Yeah.
I'm just going to hit this guy. I'll hit this guy. You're going to pass a card to your opponent, and your opponent is going to pick a card of one of the two that was given to them, and they're going to pass it to you. Once that's done, you're going to have all 5 cards in your hand and 5 cards in your line. Your opponent's also going to have 5 cards in their hand. On your turn, you're largely doing this action. You are discarding a card from either your line or your hand. And when you do that, you're going to take the corresponding card from the river and place it into that spot. So if I discarded this card right here, which I will right now, I'm going to hit confirm. That card is going to slide on down. Okay.
Yep.
Now, either before or after my turn, I have the optional option of taking one of my 2 emissary markers and placing it on this little central imperial board. This board right here has different actions. This one allows me to swap any cards within the same row.
And that's any in the row, because my lesson learned was not just one spot over. You could put it anywhere to anywhere.
Yeah, anywhere to anywhere. You just take 2 cards and you swap their positions.
Yep.
And either in your line, you could do it in your hand, or you could even do it in the river itself, which is good if you want to get a specific card down to you. The other option is you could swap out a card directly from your hand to your line up and down. But so this guy would go here, for example, right? And all these cards are different scoring conditions based on where they are in your tableau. The other option, by the way, too, is you could take one of your guys and put it over here to discard 2 cards from the center river, because the game is going to end in a couple different ways. 2 ways.
2 ways.
So once one of the 5 piles in the center river have been depleted, right? Any player at the start of their turn can choose to call it.
That's a critical piece too, because if you empty out that pile, you can't just call to end the game at that point.
Yeah.
You that action.
Yeah, at the start of your turn, you can choose to call it, and then when you do decide to call it, that your opponent has one more turn.
Yes.
The other way the game could end is if 2 piles go away, in which case the game will end and you score. All these cards score completely differently, and they're kind of wacky all over the place. These are all the potential cards that you're going to see and the different quantities on the top. So like this Naishi card, for example, will score you 12 points if she's in the centermost column on the topmost row, or 8 points if she's in the centermost column
in your hand
on the bottom. Yeah.
But I want to point out on the cards, great on the design is have the number of the amount of cards
on the bottom left.
On the bottom left. So you're going to know how many.
Yeah. This advisor, by the way, will score additional points if he's next to the Naishi. So
you can score major points when you combine those 2 near each other.
Yeah. One more action you can do in the game, only once any player can do this action, is taking your emissary marker, placing it down in the center spot called the decree, and you're going to take your opponent's card. You swap out your opponent's card with one of yours.
Oh, you killed me with that the other night.
I did. But the thing is, once you do that, that emissary is out of the game because another action you could do is retrieve all your emissaries. But if you're retrieving your emissaries and you have one on the decree, you can never get that one on the decree.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then in the game, you start out with all these mountain cards, which are beautiful to look at, right? If you have one of them at the end of the game, you're going to get 5 points. If you have 2 or more, though,
Negative
you'll
5.
lose 5 points. Not per card, it's per set.
This game has such a great amount of tension to it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're taking something off the river, there's there's certain cards that someone's going to want.
Yeah.
But you also get a sense of what they might be going for, but you may not have a complete idea.
Yeah.
Either. So there's the tension is just like ripe, and I love it.
But sometimes you guys are going for the same thing, right? Like, for example, this card right here, the Tory, right? There's only 4 of them. If you get one of them, you'll lose 5 points. If you get 2 of them, no problem. You're rocking the donut. If you have 3 or more, though, you get 30 points. So if you and your opponent are both going for this Tory card, someone's not going to be happy.
And that's where that decree might come into play, because suddenly you've got that Tory card right there, and that could be the thing that puts you over to 30. The back and forth in this is fantastic. The art, again, looks beautiful. I can describe it from what I see here and from photos I've seen, but this is one of those games that if this becomes available to me, and I would pick it up internationally to grab a copy. That like if it was a reasonable enough thing.
It's going to be in France soon.
Yeah.
And then Germany.
Yeah, so this is one of those games that from the art alone, I know what the stuff does. So yeah, I'm going to want this one in the long run. It's a beautiful game, but the gameplay is really what we're talking about here, because we're talking about Board Game Arena, and it's so smooth.
What do you want to rate it then?
Oh my goodness, it's so good.
What do you want to rate it?
I'm going to bring up my score.
Oh my goodness, you can't remember your score?
Well, I'm mixing it up in my head between 2 point somethings.
Okay. All right. Well, while he figures that out, let me just talk about what kind of 2-player games I like. Heavy interaction.
Yes.
Love them. Very knifey. This is very knifey. There's a lot of hate drafting opportunities, but there's a lot of, oh, you took the card I want kind of things. A lot of that Targi kind of moment. If you like that sort of thing, like I like that sort of thing, you might be rating it a 9.7, which I am. It's a 9.7. That's how much I love this game.
Yeah, this is a damn good game.
What'd you rate it?
Telling you.
Oh my gosh, you're still pulling up the rating.
Shut.
All right.
You know what? I'm not normally doing this from my phone. Thank you very much.
That's okay. So Naishi for sure is a game I definitely want to pick up as soon as it's over here, because it's such a easy teach, and there's a lot going on, and it's really push your luck.
I wasn't sure if it was a 9.6 or 9.5. I did 9.5.
There you go.
So 9.5. Yeah, this is an immediate pickup for me. I need this in my collection.
Okay.
So yeah.
So that was Naishi.
Yep. Highly recommend that. If you want to play that, send an invite over. If you're in the Discord, I'll probably drop a link if anyone wants to try it. So
yeah. All right.
Cool. What do you want to do next? We got 2 options.
Let's jump into frogs.
All right, let's talk about.
Okay. There once was a cosmic frog. There is now Murray, the asshole frog. So Murray the asshole frog. Oh my goodness. What a title. What a title. Designed by Jenna Felly. Okay. It's a set collection game and set destruction game with
set destruction for sure. Yes.
For sure. There's a lot of take that in this game. I'm going to start that right off the bat. Now, here's the thing about take that games. Oh, there's no pictures. Don't worry. Don't worry. We got this, guys. We got this.
You've got photos.
Let's talk. When it comes to take that, right? There is bad take that.
Mm-hmm.
There's like Munchkin take that, right?
Okay.
There's like
That's
that
fair.
kind of ilk where it's just take that for take that. When it comes to a Devious Weasel, Jenna Felly take that design, like a cosmic frog, like Murray, the asshole frog. It is a take that where there is really no hard feelings, because throughout the game, there is so many crazy, how is this going on? Oh yeah, sorry. The title is the asterisk. Yeah, and the cover art, technically, it's a smushed fly for the 2 S's. So there's the asterisk. So throughout this game, right, we have a bunch of different cards that are going to be coming out with all these different game-breaking kind of scoring potentials. There's different kinds of flies you're going to be putting out in different swarms. So there is a fly. What is that? The house fly?
House fly.
Right. And there are some the insects like the wasp, right, which is not a fly, but it also could be counted as a swarm.
But you could also have just a fruit fly.
You could also have a fruit fly. And this box is all cards. But sometimes, right, actually, I think he's on this side. He's on this side.
Oh, yeah, you put him on the other side.
Yeah, he's on this side. Sometimes you'll run into Murray. Okay. So whenever the Murray card comes out, a swarm has to be destroyed. Why? Because that's Murray's thing. Murray is an asshole. So Murray is going to destroy a swarm. Now, swarms are tableaus that are in front of every player.
Yeah.
There may be a case where you are the only one with a swarm, and you are the one that pulled Murray. Guess where Murray's going? He's going for your swarm. That swarm is going to go away, but once it does go away, you get a tadpole. So it's take that with a little no hard feelings, because tadpoles are worth 1 point plus the total number of tadpoles you have. So this is now worth 2 points. You get 2 tadpoles because you're just an easy target. Each of these is going to be worth 3 points.
Yep.
And then you get 3 of them. Each of them are going to be worth 4 points, right? So it's just...
And creating the swarms is really interesting because as you're playing the game, when you have 3 of one type number, specifically, you can play them down and say, I've got a swarm. Now you can make as many swarms as you like across the game. If you're playing what was the exact word for the swarm when it's all the same circle? Because you're getting...
so there's different kinds of swarms. A perfect swarm is a swarm. So swarms are all part of the same number, right?
Yes.
Not necessarily the same shape. So it could be like a circle 3 and a diamond 3 are a swarm. But 2 circle 3s and a diamond 3 are a swarm. But if you have like 3 circle 3s, that's a perfect swarm. And that's going to score you even more additional bonus points.
Now, it's important to point, too, you could say play 3 8s, and on another turn, play 3 more 8s as a separate swarm. They are not going into necessarily the same set. You can make 2 separate sets with those. It's not, I think sometimes, because I for example, if you played Sobek 2-player, it's a game where if you're playing more of those cards down, somehow they go into the same subset. So, but yeah.
Give me this deck.
Yeah.
So I want to show you how thick this deck is, right? These are all the cards you're going to go through, and you're going through this deck twice because how the game ends is actually really interesting. The discard pile starts off in the beginning with this card, the Hawk, which is 20 points, right? Which is a 20-point card. But don't worry about that. The points on this one never matter. What's going to happen is when the Hawk card comes out, that card could be played by the player who has the Hawk as their first card to end the game. Because I didn't explain, by the way, on your turn, you play as many cards as you want out in front of you. As many as you want out in front of you into legal swarms, right? So you're going to be placing them all out, and then one card is passed over to the player to your left.
Yep.
And the thing is, you always need to end your hand with one card in your hand.
That's important because we didn't do that the first time.
We didn't do it the first time, and we messed up some rules. But the thing is, if you don't play the Hawk card has to be the card you pass along. So you always have to pass along the Hawk. If you don't,
the Hawk is required to be.
The Hawk is the one that's required to pass along.
But it doesn't take too long to go for the game. Plays pretty quickly.
No, once the Hawk is out, players will know when the Hawk is out pretty much. Because they'll have a sense of it at some point.
And the Hawk might get all the way around.
The Hawk may get over.
The Hawk may get, because you're trying to figure out, do I have enough to win?
Well, the game could also end when the whole deck is gone too, a second time. In which case that point does matter, because at the end of the game, you're going to score points for your swarms in front of you, and you're going to lose points for all the cards in your hand.
Yep.
So if you are holding on to this Wasp card, which is great for when someone plays a Murray card on you, you can use the Wasp to change the Murray's target to a different swarm. That's great. But if you're holding on to too many, like I did in my last game, you might end up with -7 points.
Yeah.
Which is what happened to me.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I really, again, and when I think about it, this falls in not necessarily as maybe as high rated, but it falls in that same vein of just a game I'd love to break out with people at a convention or even with family and stuff, because with Cockroach Poker, like it's in that same vein of game.
It has that same,
it's got that vibe.
For
if that
sure.
makes sense.
That no, 100%. It has that same vibe as Cockroach Poker, where the game can become a spectacle. You know, where every turn you're going to be putting out things, and then Murray's going to come out. It's like, oh god,
and you're going to have these
Murray.
reactions, and people around you are like,
Yeah.
"What's going on? What are you guys doing? What do you play?" I think this is a game that's going to get that attention when people see it being played,
and it's enjoyable. Like, it's very hard, and I mean this sincerely, to take that games really enjoyable. And Jenna just has a knack for that. Like, Jenna's game are highly interactive, and this one is highly a take that game, and she handles it no problem.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I give Murray the Asshole Frog the worst Jenna Felly frog related board game I've ever played, an 8.6.
I was giving it an 8.4, but I want to play it some more as well. But really liked it. I think, again, solid game. And when it comes down to it, it's in that same world for me as Cockroach Poker, which I rate slightly higher. But I think it's solid. I think this is a game that is great for anyone who wants to have a good time.
And look
at
how
the
small
table.
the box is.
Let's note.
Oh, we had a little cardboard insert.
There's a little cardboard insert in here that says additional space for sleeve cards.
Yeah.
So built for sleeve. They know you're going to play it. And I think this is the game that your cards are going to deteriorate over time, and you might want to sleeve it. That's thought out. So, really like this one. Smash up job. 8.4, 8.6 from us.
Now it's Murray, the Asshole Frog.
Yes.
Doesn't say it again.
Yes.
With a game like that, how can you not say it?
Yeah.
But we have one last review.
One last one, but
and then we'll call it a night. But if anyone really wants to call in, you can just call in right now. That's it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, forever hold your peace and let us move on to Sherwood Forest.
Yes.
For it is a jest of Robin Hood. This is designed by Fred Serval and published by GMT Games. GMT Games gets a lot of flack for having not the nicest looking kinds of board games. I don't know if you've seen any other GMT games.
I have, I can say.
You have.
I don't know if everyone else has.
You know, when you have games like this, like take a look at Dominant Species, right? Dominant Species looks like the real Cones of Dunshire.
Oh my god, I never thought about that, but wow, it kind of does.
It's got the cones, and it's got like that.
It's
vibe,
much smaller scale though,
than
the Cones of Dunshire.
But a jest of Robin Hood comes in, right? And GMT, I think, has been doing better jobs with their the graphic designs in general. I think Imperial Struggle was a fantastic looking game.
Yep.
But you got a board like this. Look at this board. That's a nice board.
Yeah. Rachel said I would call the other looking one looks like a prototype.
You know? I mean, look at this. Like, you got these pieces right here. This is classy. This is a classy looking game.
What I actually really love about the look and feel of this game is the board looks beautiful, but then it uses the pieces that have a simple yet almost elegance to them, in that they do have the symbols on them, which is important because in particular one of you is going to be playing Robin Hood, and Robin Hood's piece himself is actually, they're hidden. The Merry Men and Robin Hood are hidden, but Robin Hood is one of them. So finding Robin Hood is part of the game.
Yeah, so let me find a good picture of that. By the way, this is hilarious. I think upgraded components for this is pretty great.
Oh my god.
right? Isn't that pretty funny?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, that's correct. So you're playing with all these different cylinders as the Merry Men, which one of these all these cylinders on the other side are gonna have like a little Merry Men kind of
Mhm.
feather cap, but one of them is gonna got an RH on it, and that's Robin Hood.
Yep.
He's like a super Merry Man. Meanwhile, the Sheriff of Nottingham is sending out his I guess what is it, like pieces of gum out on the board.
Yeah.
These are all his guards. There's 17 of them. And what is considered to be a coin light-esque board game. So coin stands for counterinsurgency, COIN. And there's a big giant series of coin games in GMT Games library. Now this one is coin light, coin inspired, and it is a 2-player game where it's completely asymmetric. The Robin Hood player is playing one way, the Sheriff of Nottingham is playing the other.
Yes.
The goal of the game, though, is overall the same. There are 3 scoring phases in the game. And there's a single tug of war style track. If your marker is on your side of the track of the 5, 6, and 7 during scoring, you win.
Yeah.
Otherwise, continue on for the next scoring round. You do that 3 times.
And if you've never played now, I have played a few coin games, but very few compared to most. But this, I will tell you, from the limited amount I've played, is my favorite. It's one I could see repeat plays of, and I very much would like to play it many more times. Now, thematically, I'm going to just be clear, because it's important to note, because I kind of have this bias towards Robin Hood game. Like, I want to play any Robin Hood game. That's partially because I have partially with family history in terms of where I have my genealogy. Other things has to do with that. I just love the story of Robin Hood. So
Robin Hood's not real.
I understand that, but not my family history is not that far from that.
I think I say I'm related by
no,
the way.
I'm not related to
little John.
No,
not Robin Hood, but Little John maybe.
No, but I got some family
Scarlet
history near Nottingham. So, but anyways, I will say the gameplay, the back and forth, the tug of war, the interesting choices, it combines what I liked about coin games with a playable time that is much more up my alley, with a board that visually has my attention.
Well, playable time like an hour, 2 tops.
Yeah.
I
mean, but that's compared to
every other coin game
other coin game I played, which is like, it's going to take a few hours.
Yeah.
And 3 hours was like the low end of that scale. Like when we played
People Power,
and when we had a chance to play Cuba Libre. If I'm going to be perfectly candid, because I liked Cuba Libre.
Yeah.
If I was not playing that game with Rodney Smith, I don't honestly believe I would have had the attention span for it.
That's fair.
But when you're being taught by someone who's as good at teaching a game as Rodney Smith,
he's pretty good, I hear.
He's damn good.
Yeah.
It's very easy to get drawn in. So I think when it comes down to it, this game, it just blew me away, quite frankly, just because I could teach this game into probably my son. I might even be able to get my wife to play this, believe it or not. Like I really believe I could. Because once I get a teaching of this is a game I want to play over and over again, not necessarily in that same sitting, but I want to get this to the table multiple times. I love 2-player tug of war, of course, but it does do the coin system really well.
So let's hop into that coin system, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this initiative board. Every turn, starting with the player with first initiative, right? In this case, is Robin Hood, is going to select one of the 3 actions to do: a plot action, the event card action, or the plots and deeds action. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing is, when you select one, right, you're going to do that action, and then the player is going to do one of the other 2 that weren't selected. So if Robin Hood selects a single plot, and the Sheriff of Nottingham is now left with either an event or plots and deeds. So what is all this, right? A single plot is very easy. You just do one action. A plots and deeds, though, lets you do 2 actions.
Mhm.
And the event is a one-time event that's associated with whatever card is flipped over. In this case, we can go over here and you can see some examples. The top half is Robin Hood friendly. The bottom half is Sheriff of Nottingham
And
friendly.
sometimes it's important to note you might want to take the event because it's just so damn good
Yep.
for the other person.
But then that gives that person the opportunity to decide, well, I could do a small action right now and then start next round.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could just go on in and just do everything I need to do. So it's a lot of tug of war in that aspect too. So we're talking tug of war scoring, tug of war player initiative.
Yes.
Not only that, how the scoring works is super interesting because you're going to go through these different phases like, oh, unrest, mischief. What is this, right? Well, luckily, everyone has like this little sheet in front of them that walks them through every possible thing. And what's great too is all the actions you want to do are all strict here. Plots are only here. Plots and deeds, you do one here, you do one here, you're done.
Yep.
You know? So it's very straightforward. It tells you like why you may want to do something is pretty important, like what it kind of tells you. But throughout the game, different regions will become submissive, which is in favor of the Sheriff of Nottingham player, or revolt, which is in favor of the Robin Hood character. Throughout the game, what I really love is the Sheriff of Nottingham player can really get a lot of resources in by placing out carriage tokens.
Mm-hmm.
And when carriage tokens are placed out into a submissive region, because they can only be placed out in a submissive region, that region is now in revolt because the sheriff just stole stuff from them. Talk about like thematic integration through the roof on this game.
Oh, yeah.
Because now what's going to happen is throughout the game, every event card that comes out is going to indicate how many carriages are moving that round. Is it 1? Is it 2? It's going to move 1 space on that road. And when it eventually gets to Nottingham, it goes to the Nottingham player. But then, what, of course, does Robin Hood love to rob? Because robbing is an action. You rob carriages.
Yep.
You go into the carriages, you take stuff.
But what if you rob that carriage and it's maybe a trap?
That's right. Because there are 6 possible carriages can go out. 3 at most, like kind of unique actions. 2 of which are going to have surprise. There's guards aboard, right? Others won't. Those have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if you do get captured, you're going to get sent out to prison, which, if you're a merry man, that's rough. But if you're Robin Hood in prison, you could swashbuckle your way out, which is really hilarious.
Every little thing about this game just, for me, like...
You're grinning the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little decisions they made about, but when you, like, I love the fact, yes, okay, great, I'm putting a cart down. Now they're in revolt. I'm going to have to deal with that later, but I really could use this money.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness, this track that it's going to have to follow is going to go right by all the merry men.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going to put down this one. And then the merry men have to you have to think about, is this a trap?
Yeah.
And you don't know. Now, eventually you're going to find out, and those are going to be turned up. Now, those carriages come back at the end of a round.
Yeah.
But every round, you don't know when those carriages first go down, what's in them. So again, the decision-making that you have to do.
And also, if you're robbing too, you're largely going to be robbing throughout the entire game.
Oh, yeah.
Because the rob action is pretty huge. You could just, instead of robbing a carriage, you could just rob a different traveler.
Yep.
So this is what thy rob deck is. Like, it's a bunch of monks. What are you going to do? Well, you're going to roll dice against them and see how you did. This is their defense. And if you did great, if you could do like the lesser, safer bet, or you could hedge your bets to really see how you did. So if you were really successful, you would gain different a bigger thing. But if you fail, the outcome is usually pretty bad. But you're doing that by doing some additional dice rolls. You're mitigating it by the number of merry men you have there. Rather active flip merry men or Robin Hood. And then the die you're rolling depends on what kind of region it is. If it's a revolting region or the forest, you're going to roll the easier green die. If not, you're going to roll the harder white die.
Every decision matters in this game.
Yep.
No matter what, but it's also straightforward enough that you can pick it up and learn this game, I feel like, without some of the struggles it is the game. If I'm going to teach someone the coin system,
good one.
Why would I can't imagine going to another one personally. But again, limited coin experience. I want to stress that I played 3 of
And
these
it's
games.
coin inspired, right?
It's coin inspired.
But if you're a stickler, we're not sticklers about that here.
No.
What we are fans of board games. And let me
Yes.
tell you this. Just a Robin Hood, theme integration through the roof, more than any coin game I've ever played. Other coin related kind of games is Root. You know, that's a coin inspired kind of
coin
game
inspired.
Too.
That's fair.
You know, but when it comes to any of those kinds of games, just a Robin Hood is my choice.
Yeah,
my 9.2 rating choice. That's where I stand on that.
Yeah, and mine was a 9.
There you go.
Mine was a 9. It's right there, and I want to play it more.
Yeah,
and I just want to keep playing this game. This is a game that will likely at some point end up in my collection. It has everything: 2-player, tug of war, and
Errol Flynn.
Yeah, and the theme. Honestly,
yes, I mean,
the thematic is there and well implemented. You know, and it is the best Robin Hood game I've played. And I've played games that have tried to do Robin Hood stuff.
It is better than the other one I really enjoy. The Adventures of Robin Hood. I really love Adventures of Robin Hood. But
I mean, I just have been dying for a good Robin Hood game. And this is the Robin Hood game for me at this point. So yeah. High scores today.
High scores.
I feel like it was a deviation from the last episode.
We're overdue for a bad game.
Yeah. No, because last time we had plenty.
We had plenty of bad games.
But yeah, I mean, look, every game is for someone somewhere.
Oh.
Unless
adorable.
Unless it's lost the board.
I'll tell you this though. We are getting close to the 2-hour mark. So before we hit that 2-hour mark, I'm just gonna say thank you all for tuning in now or later. I'm gonna hit the cue music. Ready? Hit the cue music. Thank you everyone on our Discord. Thank you for such a wonderful Tabletop Express community.
Yep. If you're on the Discord, not there, join us.
Hey everyone.